What is going on, guys? It's your Bobby Dyllan and welcome back to another Destiny 2 build guide. This one is for the Warlock and this is by far one of the best builds I've ever done. The ability, uptime and ad clear potential of this thing is personally some of the best I've ever seen. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this down into a couple of stages. I'm going to go subclass, armor and armor mods, then we're going to go into weapons, and then finally artifact. So let's dive straight into the subclass. So for this build, we're going to be on the Void Walker Warlock subclass. For the super, you can use whatever you want. Personally, I've gone Nova Bomb Cataclysm. Moving on to the abilities, I've gone Healing Rift as that ties into one of our aspects. For the jump, I've got Burst Glide. For the melee, Pocket Singularity. And finally the grenade, we've gone Vortex Grenade as they are really good in PvE and just, yeah, they're just insane. Aspects, I have Feed the Void, which is defeating a target with a void ability will grant you Devour. Now what Devour does is every time you get a kill while Devour is active, it will restore you to full health and grant you grenade energy every time you get a kill. The next aspect, I can't even speak, is Child of the Old Gods. So casting your Rift will give you a Void Soul. What you do then is you shoot an enemy, the Void Soul will then seek out targets. It will drain and weaken them, and in return it will give you grenade and melee energy as we have the Healing Rift. Now please note, if you do not have Healing Rift, it will not give you grenade and melee energy. So if you have Empowering Rift, it will instead give you health. Moving on to the fragments, we have Remnants, which is your lingering grenade effects, aka the Vortex Grenade, has increased duration. We have Echo of Undermining, which is our void grenades weaken targets. We have Instability, which is defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to your void weapons. And we have Persistence, which is void buffs applied to you, aka for us it's going to be Devour, have increased duration. Now that's the subclass out the way, we're going to get into the armor stats. Now personally, I would go Discipline and Resilience. Try and get as much Discipline and Resilience as you can. As you can see, I have 100 Resilience and 101 Discipline. So essentially tier 10 of both. Moving on to the armor now. So for the exotic armor piece of choice, we have Verity's Brow. What this does is on weapon final blows with a damage type matching your subclass energy. So we're on Void Walker, so we're going to be using void weapons only. So the subclass energy grants you Death Throws. So if you're using void weapons that matches your void subclass, it will grant you Death Throws. Now what Death Throws does is it provides a grenade damage bonus and grants you grenade energy as well. So it's really good for PvE. The second part we don't really care about. That's just essentially every time we throw a grenade while Death Throws is active, our nearby allies gain a greatly increased grenade regeneration. So obviously this build's made primarily for us, but it's nice that we benefit teammates as well. Now I will go over the mods for the armor. Now on our helmet we have 2 Ashes to Assets mods, which gains bonus super energy on grenade kills. We have Void Siphon, which is rapid void weapon final blows create an orb of power. Moving on to the arms, we have Void Loader, which increases the reload speed of our void weapons. We have Firepower, your grenade final blows generate orbs of power. And we have Grenade Kickstart, when your grenade energy is fully expended, you gain grenade energy. Additionally, your armor charge is consumed and you gain additional grenade energy for each stack. Moving on to the chest piece, we have a selection of damage resistant mods. Personally, I've gone Sniper Damage Resist, Concussive Dampener and Solar Resist. You can use pretty much whatever you want on your chest piece, it doesn't really matter. Moving on to the legs, we have 2 Innovation mods, which gives us reduced grenade cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. Then we have Void Weapon Surge, your void weapons gain a small bonus to damage while you have any armor charge. However, your armor charge now decays over time. Finally, moving on to the bond, we just have 3 bomber mods slapped in here, which gives us reduced grenade cooldown when using your class ability. Now moving on to the weapons, the primary weapon that makes this build an absolute joy to use is fighting Lion. Now I'm going to name this build the Volatile Lion build, as it's just, I think it's pretty hilarious. So this thing has a Thin the Herd perk, so direct hits do more damage to combatant shields, dealing damage increases the reload speed, and rapid final blows against grenade damage combatants refill the magazine. So for this to work properly, what we're going to be essentially trying to do is throw a grenade that will activate our Devour on our Void subclass, and every time we get a kill with a Void weapon, aka the Fighting Lion, we will get the Death Throws, which will give us our grenade energy back. And because we have Devour as well, active because we just got a Void ability kill, we will also get grenade energy back from that and full health every time we get a kill. And don't forget that the Fighting Lion, every time you kill an enemy that has been damaged by a grenade, it will automatically reload the weapon, so you can just constantly fire the thing like a belt-fed rocket launcher. So moving on to the other weapons of choice. Now, for your kinetic slot, you can use pretty much whatever you want. Personally, I've gone a submachine gun as I just like them in PvE. Now, if you was doing harder level content and you needed, I don't know, a barrier pulse or unstoppable scout rifle, feel free to put one in here, as that will work completely fine. You do not need an SMG for this build to work, as pretty much the only weapon that you're going to be using is a Fighting Lion anyway. So for the heavy slot, make sure you've got something that is Void. Now I've gone for the Void Linear Fusion Taipan just because it's really good in PvE. Now you could go for a Void machine gun, Void grenade launcher, Void rocket launcher, doesn't really matter, just make sure it's Void. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say there. Now moving on to the artifact. This season, there's stupid artifact mods that make this build even better. So what we're going to do is just go over those. So we've got Shatter Orbs. The first time you break a combatant's shield, you generate an Orb of Power. If you break the shield with the matching damage type. Then we have Bricks from Beyond, which is defeating a powerful combatant with a Void weapon has a chance to generate heavy ammo for you and your teammates. So again, we're using Void weapons anyway, so this is going to work in synergy with that. We've got Void Weapon Channeling. You gain a temporary bonus to Void weapon damage after you defeat a target with a Void weapon, while at least one of your Void abilities is fully charged. This damage bonus increases based on the number of fully charged Void abilities you have. And finally, we've got Volatile Flow, which is picking up an Orb of Power grants your Void weapons volatile rounds. So we're going to get volatile rounds from our grenades every time we get a grenade kill over here, wherever I can find it. So right here, instability. So we get volatile rounds on grenade kills. And now, because of this mod over here, Volatile Flow, every time we pick up an Orb of Power, we also get volatile rounds. So you have two ways to get volatile rounds for this build to work. And yeah, so the rest of the video is pretty much just going to be gameplay. Hope you enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.
brings back some ugly memories.
We had fewer allies during the Red War. I fancy our chances have improved considerably.
Each victory charts the course for the next. Just as choosing the light time and again has brought us all here to this same